Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita. Did you tell Sachi where?
I did.
Yeah. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna Krishna Krishna. I'm just advertising to our friends here. You're right there. Krishna Krishna Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama 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 Hari 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 Krishna Hari Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama Hari Rama. Hey, Guilty Sammy, welcome. I bet you can't sleep tonight. That's the problem. So we're chanting, doing this japa meditation here with this young lady here. Yeah. Check her out over there. There she is in the corner. Say hi. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. You'll be our bait here. We'll get thousands of viewers here when they see you over there in the corner. Just because you're a woman, in the corner, wearing pink.
Oh, pink! I'm wearing pink.
Hey everybody, welcome. All right, so this is how we have a little afternoon. Hey, well, thank you for coming, everybody. And yeah, let's chant a little japa together and connect to our roots, Vrindavan roots. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Maybe we'll sing a little bit too in a little while here. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hi there, dear sister. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Seem like a nice person. I'll follow you. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari, Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hari Hari, Hari Rama, Rama Rama, Hari Hari. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Jesus, 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 Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna. Oh, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhaktavinda
Jai Shri Prabhupada. So we're going to read a little play here. This is by Ramananda Roy. Lord Chaitanya used to quote verses from his play, Relish Mellows. So let's learn a little bit about the characteristics of Radha and Krishna. I might read some of the word for word because they have it, and see how that goes. So where do we start here? Let's see. Okay, all right. Let's start from the beginning. Oops. Yeah, I haven't really read this play before, so we'll just a new experience here. Yeah. So this is very rasic. So let's pray to Krishna that we're able to appreciate this play. Hey, thank you for coming, my friend. I have to have the sound off so I can't hear you now because I'm doing a Facebook Live thing here. Yes. So, the beginning, text 1. May Krishna's splendid dancing, which is accompanied by the melodies of the lute, flute, and drum, and the tinkling of the gopis' cartels and ankle bells, and which reveals his charming smile and graceful threefold movements of the vine of his transcendental form, bring bliss to the three worlds. May Krishna's splendid dancing, which is accompanied by the melodies of the lute, the flute, and the drum, and the tinkling of the gopis' cartels and ankle bells, and which reveals his charming smile and graceful threefold bending movements of the vine of his transcendental form, bring bliss to the three worlds. So I'm going to read the word for word. Yeah. And see if we can get something from this here. See, the best way to learn about Krishna is through the devotees. They have a relationship. So we learn that relationship through the devotees. These very intimate. Who was he? Vishaka. How else can we know about Krishna except through those who have that? Yeah. So, word for word. Swara, with sounds. Achita, bent. Vipachika, of the lute. Moraja, of the drums. Venu, and the flute. Sangitakam, with music. Tree, threefold. Banga, bending. Tanu, form. Valari, creeper. Valita, moving. Valgu, charming. Hasa, smiles. Ubanam, manifestation. Vayasya, of friends. Karatalika, with cartels. Ranita, sounded. Nupurai, with ankle bells. Ujvalam, splendid. Mora Ari of Lord Krishna, the enemy of Mora. Natanam, the dancing, Sada, eternally. Dasatu, may show. See, the word eternally is not there. See, eternally, it's significant. See, this eternal. See, may show. Sarma, transcendental auspiciousness. Ah, there's another beautiful word. Transcendental auspiciousness. That's what's called real auspiciousness. If it's not transcendental, nothing's really auspicious in this world. So that's why the idea, even in the Bible, is about worshiping. Don't put any idol before the Lord. The Lord is transcendental. So he's in his word, he's in his name. He's in his devotee, the real devotees, with real devotion, which is eternal. Transcendental, auspiciousness, and bliss. You know that word bliss? How many people know about that word? It's kind of unique, isn't it? Bliss. You know what bliss is? You don't know
I
what
thought it was like a happy peace of mind.
So it's forthcoming for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Tell me.
Well, it's like, tell me what it's like to eat ice cream. Well, how about just eat the ice cream, See, this is it's a very high thing, this bliss is transcendental. You gotta, to experience real bliss, it's not in this world, man. It's not in the coverings of the air, fire, earth, water, air. It's not, bliss is not there. Ether, not there. This transcendental bliss. That's why it's hard to understand, these states, they're beyond the modes of nature. Okay? Air, ether, it's beyond. This is why this is why a real devotee, they see Vaidhi Bhaktas, they say, they don't know what bliss is yet. If you're on you get a little bit maybe. You get a little taste, by mercy. By grace you can get this. Okay? But you got to pierce the false egos, envy, jealousy, pride. Okay? So the Lord, out of his mercy, comes and meets us. He'll give us this taste of this bliss, some level. You wouldn't be enjoying these books if you didn't have any bliss. You just don't. You're always playing it down. And this ecstasy, bliss, ecstasy. Okay? This is real happiness, real auspiciousness. Worthy to praise. See, one should neither praise or blame anything in the modes of nature. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita conception. See, everything is acting uniformly according to the modes. It's just natural. You don't praise or blame it. Okay? So what should be praised and not blamed? See, praise is whatever transcendental. The name of Krishna should be praised. Radharani, Krishna, the devotees, real devotees, should be praised, not ones who identify with a false ego. That's why even Lord Shiva didn't stand up for Daksha. Lord Shiva, Daksha, see, all the demigods didn't know what is really transcendental. Shiva, he was looking externally like see snakes around his neck and slowly didn't take a bath. It just looked really, but he's a manifestation of this bliss and ecstasy and intimacy with God. Nobody could recognize it. See, they thought Daksha, who still identified with the false ego as the self, proud like this. They don't know what real bliss is. That's why persons don't understand this chanting. I put on the caption here, chanting ecstatic devotional chanting, japa, ecstatic devotional chanting japa, something like that. Well, what is that? Even persons in Vaishnava, well, what is that? Oh, ecstatic. Well, this is ecstatic, whatever. You see, it's significant. It's the only auspicious thing in this world. It's the only auspicious thing we can really do during our day. It's the only thing that makes Krishna happy, isn't it? Okay? And if we're doing an activity, what they call devotional service, making Krishna happy, the result is this bliss. He becomes blissful, therefore the devotee becomes blissful. See, they're very close like that. So I better preach to myself, spend more time doing these activities than this other bullshit I'm doing, studying all this stuff. It doesn't give a lot of, it's like, it's interesting, but it's like, it's not the real. This is life. It's real life, man. Talking about what's transcendental, praising that, makes Krishna the heart happy. Makes us happy, makes the hearers happy, makes the speakers happy. Everyone's uplifted. The world is even uplifted to another level of consciousness because everybody's talking about things of the world in the modes of nature, keeping everything down, keeping consciousness down. See, this raises consciousness, right? Just naturally we're talking about what's auspicious and see, that kind of talks, man. See, naturally brings us up, transcend. Sarma, transcendental auspicious. I like this word for word thing. This is really great. Loka, and bliss, loka, worlds, traye, in the three worlds. I gotta read. Okay, listen. Okay, I gotta read the whole thing. Yes, so good. Svara, with sounds, achita, bent, vipichata. I won't read the whole thing again. I just may show some auspicious and bliss, loka, to the three worlds. Yeah, to bring this bliss to the three worlds. We need it, man. This is real life. Now, I heard a verse by this one preacher who's talking about, he said that Jesus said, I'm the resurrection and the life. Okay? So that's the word of God. That's Krishna. It resurrects our dormant consciousness, our dormant transcendental consciousness, dormant. The resurrection has to be resurrected. It's there and it's dormant, and it has to be. And so Jesus said, "I'm the resurrection and the life." That's God. That's the Lord. He was speaking in like from the presence of the Lord. It's like saying Krishna saying, "I'm the resurrection and life." That's why devotees don't speak of themselves. They speak of Krishna, who resurrects our life to another level. Talks about Krishna, praising that. Okay? So Vedavyas was pretty unhappy. He was talking, God, I was praising Varnashram Dharma and the rules, regulations, and my heart wasn't happy. See, because it doesn't resurrect the consciousness above the modes yet, just goodness. See, so in his heart, it was like, Yeah, so Narada Muni comes as guru and says, hey, yeah, talk about Krishna, like especially when he got to 10th canto. Okay? Talk about Krishna, raise the consciousness to that transcendental level. Because the name of Krishna is non-different from Krishna. See? So we got to be praising that name. And if devotion is awakened, then the name will reveal itself in its beauty and its amazingness. Okay? And because of the devotion, and then the devotion awakens more understanding of the name and it's like back and forth, oscillation. The name, the sweetness, the characteristics, the relish, the devotion allows us to do that. That's mining. See, mining jewels. Right? And that causes more devotion to awaken. And devotion causes more understanding of this transcendental nature of God. And the transcendental nature of glorification, that's why he's speaking that. It causes more devotion to awaken. Okay? And then more realization of the name and speaking and glorifying that causes more devotion to arise. And that devotion arises, makes more understanding. You're going deeper, deeper into this mine of jewels. Okay? Up and up and up. Way it's described. It's a competition. Transcendental competition. Nobody wins. It's described like that. Sort of. I just kind of paraphrase in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, this is not a smile. This is not a smile, but moonlight. These are not eyes, but lotus flowers. These are not ears, but Kamadeva's bowstring, stretched for the conquest of the world. May the blissful gopis' bewilderment, may the blissful, woo! It's powerful stuff, man. Yeah. May the blissful gopis' bewilderment. This bhakti is very bewildering. Okay? It's blissful bewilderment. Here, see, people, Krishna is very bewildering in this transcendental form, but it's wonderful, man. You get lost and surrender to it. It's intoxicating. That's why we need to see it. We need to see devotees that are, especially in the mood of the gopis, if you find them, relishing this, becoming bewildered by Krishna's beauty and sweetness, or hearing the vibration. That's what devotees, the whole thing is, man. When we get purified, even your own voice sets you off. And it sets others off. That's the whole thing, You become a flute of the Lord, and the Lord uses you, okay? And you're uplifted, and others are uplifted. See, that's sadhu sangha. That's the most desirable thing. That is the most auspicious thing we can engage in this world, is sadhu sangha with real sadhus. Sadhus are those who can relish the glories of this transcendental Lord, the transcendental vibration. This is not a smile, but moonlight. These are not eyes, but lotus flowers. These are not ears, but Kamadeva's bowstring, stretched for the conquest of the world. The conquest of the world. The world needs this. See, the Lord, people, they need to hear the talks about Krishna. They need to hear devotees glorifying the Lord's pastimes, because it conquers the world. Otherwise, the world is conquered by Maya. This lifts the world, like, Varaha went into the earth, fell into the water. This is the water. It's like sinking into the Maya. It's like an ocean, And the Lord came and just lifted the earth back up out of that water. Touched it. And for the conquest of the world, may the blissful gopis' bewilderment, born from their gazing at Krishna's face. Okay, so that's an advanced devotee. They gaze at Krishna's face, through their ears, through the chanting, hearing these descriptions by real devotees, becomes very intoxicating, very blissful. Okay, born of the gazing at Krishna's face. See, that's the supreme goal of life, is to look at Krishna's name through your ears and become bewildered like the gopis, intoxicated. Isn't that your supreme desire? Mm-hmm. So he goes, yeah. Yeah. That you can't have a better goal. If you want to set a goal, man, yes, I just want to chant Hare Krishna, man, and become intoxicated with the bliss of the gopis. Now, isn't that something to shoot for? What is building a skyscraper or having a big house with a lot of kids on it, compared to that kind of goal, compared to being able to chant Krishna's holy name in ecstatic love arising. Okay? So these are called real devotees, man. They glorify the essence of the goal, the truth, and all that stuff. That's why this person Lord Chaitanya listened to. Okay? Conclusive. Anybody saying there's some other goal better than gazing at Krishna's face through chanting the holy name of Hare Krishna or Lord Chaitanya's name, which makes it even easier. Okay? And that, this is it. This is the best thing. Okay? And just by associating with devotees who have that knack, they have that grace, that mercy, very pretty easily you can make progress into that. So, may the blissful gopis' bewilderment, born from their gazing at Krishna's face, bring to you 100 benedictions. Oh! May the blissful gopis' bewilderment, born from their gazing at Krishna's face, bring to you 100 benedictions. Thank you there, Ramananda. The peacock feathers in his hair move in the gentle Malayan. The peacock feathers in his hair move in the gentle Malayan breeze. The Kamadeva arrows from his crooked, restless eyes pierce the hearts of the beautiful gopis and arouse their desires. The peacock feathers in his hair move in the gentle Malayan breeze. The Kamadeva's arrows from his crooked, restless eyes pierce the hearts of the beautiful gopis and arouse their desires. Worship Krishna. His heart is blissful with amorous pastimes. The moon of the gopis' face fills him with amorous longing. So now we'll go to Chaitanya Lila. Let's go to Chaitanya Mangal, chapter, looks like, wherever this is. This is the dream of Lord Chaitanya. He told his mother. Is in Chaitanya Mangal. Now I will tell you another wonderful story. No one has seen or heard of these pastimes of Lord Gaur. Lord Gaur is the master of all the worlds, the supreme personality of Godhead now descended the earth. Lord Gaur is the master of all the worlds, the supreme personality of Godhead now descended to this earth. Persons who are offenders at heart, who are worthless like piles of ashes, whose intelligence is destroyed, and whose hearts are made dull and stunted by Vishnu's Maya, will all become pure holy saints when they hear Lord Gaur's glories. Oh, there's hope for us. Hope for this world, man. Yeah. See, people trying to rectify the world, people, there's such a state, such a degraded state already. The real hope is is connection with the Lord, or a spiritual awakening. Taking shelter of the Lord by associating with those who take shelter of the Lord seriously. Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Even though you have these horrible qualities of this Kali Yuga, just by taking shelter of Lord Krishna in the association of his real devotees, under that protection, that umbrella, all these things, you can become a saint. Now that people are trying to have good qualities, doing all these other things and difficult austerities and everything. That's why I've always been committed to this path, man. Because not always, I've learned more and more how important this path is. Whoever will take to it, I see it in people coming here, how they're becoming attracted to Lord Chaitanya and also Radha and Krishna because of that. Because of the grace of Gauranga and his pastimes, people are becoming really attracted to Radha and Krishna. That's wonderful. That's transcendental. He's the worshipable deity of the Paramahamsas. Can you imagine? Paramahamsas worship Lord Chaitanya, but his grace is so all-powerful it can reach down into hell and hellish mentality of people and bring them up, even into the Paramahamsa level. Strong mercy. So once during the 9th hour of the night, Lord Gora suddenly began weeping. Surprised, Sachi asked her son, "Dear one, why do you weep? Will you not tell me?" "Hearing you weep, I could not be peaceful. I felt as if my body had burst into flames, or if an arrow shot into my heart." Hearing his mother's words, Lord Gora was silent. Then, sitting on his bed, he described what he saw in a dream. Hearing his mother's words, Lord Gora was silent. Then, sitting on his bed, he described what he saw in a dream. He said, "I saw a person with a body handsome and glorious like a dark monsoon cloud. His crown was of peacock feathers, and his effulgence was wonderful. He wore bracelets, armlets, necklaces, and anklets. On his forehead were sandal-paste moons. He was very effulgent, and he wore yellow garments and held a flute in his left hand. With a joyful heart I gazed at his handsome form." Lord Gora wept. A flood of tears streamed from his eyes. "Don't tell anyone. No one should hear of this," he said. Hearing these nectar words from Lord Vishwambara's mouth, Sachi became filled with bliss. The hairs of Vishwambara's body stood erect. His body was effulgent. At that moment, Lord Nityananda Roy arrived at Srivasa's house. Lord Nityananda saw Vishwambara manifest a very handsome form, an effulgent form with great arms and a deep navel. In his right hand was a club, in his left a flute. In another right hand was a lotus. In another left hand was a bow. His complexion was like melted gold. His complexion was like molten gold. On his chest was a Kaustubha gem. A pair of shark-shaped earrings glistened on his cheeks. His complexion was like molten gold. On his chest was a Kaustubha gem. A pair of shark-shaped earrings glistened at his cheeks. A necklace of emeralds glistened on his chest. Avadut Nityananda Roy gazed at this wonderful form. Lord Nityananda gazed at this four-armed form. Suddenly there was no bow, no flute, and no forearms. In a moment he saw a two-armed form, a form very merciful to the people. It's Lord Chaitanya's form. It's very merciful to the people, very merciful to us. What is that mercy? He gives it love for him. See? In his transcendental form, destroying this love for the Mayic form, the illusion, busting the bonds of the devil, or Maya, whatever you want to say. Very merciful. Hi there. Yeah, we'll see. Follow you there, I think. There we go. All right. Okay. Very merciful to the people. That's Lord Chaitanya. See, merciful to us. Yeah. Jesus was very merciful to me. And he gave me the association of Lord Chaitanya, who became very merciful to me also. Yeah. To give me some attraction to the truth. Not any believing in any of this stuff in this world, man. Isn't this fun? This is ecstatic worship, man. Wow. Uncommon. Different. It's where it's all going, man. Who wants to be a normal devotee, but normal, well, he's a normal person, normal, It's like almost like being, a little bit step above being a materialistic, Extraordinary, uncommon, man. Is this ecstasy. Different, isn't it? Sachi says, different, yes. In a moment, he was a two-armed form, a form very merciful to the people. Isn't it amazing? It's just so nice to learn about God. He takes these different forms. He has these different activities. He has relationships with his devotees. He's like a person. Mary says, need some bliss too. May you be knocked over by the wind of God. The bliss of God is kind of like a wind, Lord Nityananda gazed at Lord Gaura, embraced him, and then began to sing and dance. Overcome, he wildly danced. He was plunged in a great ocean of ecstatic spiritual love. Overcome, he wildly danced. This is so intense, this bliss, man, this, hearing about these forms. See? Overcome, he wildly danced. He was plunged in a great ocean of ecstatic spiritual love. Lord Gaura said, taking Srivas, Narayan, Sri Ram, and Murari with you, please depart. Lord Gaura said, taking Srivas, Narayana, Sri Ram, and Murari with you, please depart. Go, O Avadut, to Advaita Acharya's house. Tell him of all these wonders. Lord Gaura said, taking Srivas, Narayan, Sri Ram and Murari with you, please depart. Go, O Avadut, to Advaitacharya's house. Tell him of these wonders. Hearing Lord Gaura's command, they all became joyful at heart. Accompanied by Lord Nityananda, with joyful hearts they hurried to Advaitacharya's house. Bowing down, they told everything. Hearing their words, Advaitacharya danced, overcome with bliss. 2 by 2 they joyfully embraced. Nityananda and Advaita joyfully danced. They were plunged in an ocean of bliss. Tossed by the waves of that ocean, they called out like thundering clouds. Nityananda and Advaita talked of Lord Gauranga's confidential pastimes. Talking and listening. Talking and listening. Where is this? Talking and listening, they both became wild at heart. Nityananda and Advaita talked of Lord Gauranga's confidential pastimes. See, attraction to these kind of talks is so wonderful. You know? It's confidential. It's like transcendental. It's like what the Lord does in his personal abode, man. And see, talking and listening. You know, one person listens, one person talks. And both are listening, actually. They both became wild at heart. See, wild with bliss. This is what people haven't seen. This is what Vaishnavas, many of them haven't seen, this wild bliss. It's wild, man. It's rough and tumble. It's natural. It's informal. It's not formalities and formal. It's like I never liked formalities. It's just so formal. Shaking. It was informal, wild with bliss, natural. That's the Lord's nature, man. This is what Prabhupada, he told me, yeah, do more of that, man. Yeah. Show the people, the more of that. Show them what, the more relaxed mood of Vrindavan and not this. Show the wildness of becoming ecstatic, man. Laughing and crying, choking up, just natural, like the devotees here. Yeah. They induce people, like Lord Chaitanya gave the order, oh, you guys have devotion to Krishna, now induce people, to take to pure devotional service by being in your association, so they can experience this greatest of all happinesses. Wild bliss. LMAO. What does that mean? I don't know what I'm not good at these shortened things. Explain. LMAO. Let me.
LAMO.
Yeah. 2 days blissfully passed in this way. The Vaishnavas blissfully sang Lord Gaura's glories. The Vaishnavas blissfully sang Lord Gaura's glories. After placing their requests, you got to understand, this is what I'm learning myself, is they were there, and Lord Chaitanya is the avatar for the age, and they realized that. They could see that he was extraordinary, man. They could see there's Radha and Krishna in one form. Look at this person worshiping just like Radharani, what they read in the scriptures. This manifested a form they never saw it before, but they saw the qualities. See? And it's just like even Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami, Lord Chaitanya said, oh, you're Krishna devotees, and Krishna's given you mercy and saved you. She's saying Krishna, which is true. And they said, well, wait a second here. Actually, we don't know Radha and Krishna. No, we only know that you saved us, man. This form, very merciful to the people, very merciful to the fallen souls. Woo! Ah! Ah! Krishna, Gauranga, Nityananda. Whoa. Settle down, little doggy. Relax a little bit. Laugh my ass off. Oh, I see. Wow, this. Oh, laugh my ass off. Great. 2 days blissfully passed in this way. If you don't see this in this world, something like this, a representation, how are you going to understand this? He's just reading it, Because then that's the test, man. Then you see it somehow, they somehow find an associate in the Lord, chanting the glories of Lord Chaitanya and becoming wild with bliss. And how do you respond? Man, that's the test. You like it? Or are you a devotee in name only? Devotee of Krishna in name only, Radha and Krishna. Yeah. Hey man, if you're a devotee of Radha and Krishna, hey man, they're wild and with bliss, and so are their girlfriends. We just read that, just wild with bliss. If you don't like that wild bliss, what's that saying? You need some room for improvement. You got to hang out with these devotees and kind of learn what real Krishna consciousness is. They're here to not only tell you about it, but show you. Manifest it. Nityananda and the Advaita got the order. Lord Chaitanya said, hey man, manifest Vrindavan mood. Manifest that wild bliss in this world. Manifest that ecstatic worship. And Prabhupada basically said the same thing, and Krishna also. In 1996. It was manifesting, man. We're crying. The persons I'm chanting the Leela with, they were getting, intoxicated, getting darshan of Krishna. Literally. And Prabhupada said, yeah, that's my approval, man. Do more of that. Exactly what I want you to do, man. That's your forte, man. You've been doing it for years. Now, do it, get some other people into that. Liberate them in that way. Induce them to take to pure devotional service. This kind of, let people learn, to teach them to become favorable to this kind of worship. Induce them to take to pure devotional service. Just to accept the gift because, hey, man, it's coming. It's coming. It's got my authority, man, the disciplic line. Otherwise, people wouldn't be getting it here like this. I was listening to Christina's glorification. She's really like amazing, man. Becoming, you see, stuff is blooming, man. Getting realizations and real appreciation. And seeing how the she's there at the temple and sees how the devotees was talking to a devotee, says, yeah, I feel really happy, I feel blissful or nice and all this. But she could see that the devotee wasn't experiencing what she was, the level of Krishna consciousness she was experiencing was ecstasy. And she got, perspective. It's like, yeah, because, taking to the society of devotees, believing in Prabhupada, even though you may not understand the Lord or Prabhupada or pure devotees very well, which all of us, there's always room for improvement. There's a level of happiness in that, of shelter. Okay? So, and she's talking, but then she saw, she said, wow, but this is another level. This is a deeper thing. And so that's where you can figure out where to preach. You can say, begin to teach others, induce them to go to the next platform, which they can only really do by association. They don't know that. Okay? See, they don't know. Only by association can you quickly advance to the deeper platform. It's not going to, spontaneously, you're just going to get there one day. Just keep doing rules regularly. No, you need it. Quick, you got to fast track it if you got sufficient intelligence. Let me associate with Raganuga devotees, spontaneous devotees. Look at people. They're advancing like that without a lot of rules and regulations. Practice. She didn't have any rules, practice of rules and regulations of Vaidhi. She never, all of a sudden, just by taking association with ecstatic devotees and being open to that and going for the purification. There's some purifying things, and really being serious and really wanting some more truth, deeper truth, very easily get this. Yeah. You'll see, like persons like her or anybody here, you just keep going, and you may get knocked off the horse. Sometimes happens. She gets knocked off sometimes, she gets back on the horse and all better for it. Happened to me many times, may still happen, who knows? But Krishna, I know Krishna will bring me back. He's done it already so far. I get myself in hot water sometimes, kind of reckless. It's my nature, man. A little reckless. Yeah. Tuka says, thanks for your chasing the ghosts out of this house. Good. Ghost busting. We're ghost busting. Even on Bigo, we're ghost busting. Any ghosts out there, we're busting them. Hey, how's it going, man? The next day, these guys had long sessions. Look at this, man. For 2 days, they blissfully passed this way talking about Lord Chaitanya's glories. 2 days. We're still working up to that. Hey, we did 4 hours this morning. Almost 4 hours yesterday. That's not bad, huh? How do you get? And people that came, they usually stay for the whole thing. That's amazing. That's a miracle, actually. Hey, we're working up to the 2-day thing. Mary says, boo. After first placing their request at Adwaita's feet, the devotees quickly left to see Lord Gaurahari. Approaching Lord Gaura, they all offered their respectful obeisances. Folding his palms, Murari recounted everything. He described the confidential pastimes at Lord Adwaita's home. The Lord likes to, the Lord's in the heart of everybody, right? He's seeing everything. But he likes to hear about it from his devotees. And he's got this thing he forgets, and then he relishes, wow, that really happened. Wow, yeah. So these are qualities that we learn about the intimate form of God that Christians can't even dream of. Not even in the wildest dreams. They have to associate with Vaishnavas who understand, relish this stuff. The Lord's just saying, really? Wow. Oh, that is so amazing. He's tasting this. Like here, tasting this also. We get this. These are some of the spiritual gifts that Krishna gives, Lord Chaitanya gives. The ability to taste like he tastes. Okay? It's the spiritual senses awaken. That's when you're a liberated soul, man. You have the symptoms of liberation, tasting ecstatic bliss, the desire to glorify the pastimes of the Lord, to taste that nectar. That's wealth. That's the real lottery. Everybody becomes a lottery winner that comes here. You win the real lottery. He described the confidential pastimes at Advaita's home. See, these are confidential pastimes. We just do. See, blissfully dancing, all that stuff, describe these things. See? Hearing these pastimes, Lord Gaur became joyful. A smile took birth upon his face. See? So that's the Lord in the heart of a devotee. When you see devotees smiling, when you see them joyful hearing the pastimes of the Lord, that means the Lord's living there. She thinks, where's Krishna? Well, you wouldn't be reading these things with the smile that she has on her face if he wasn't there. She's just hiding, downplaying. She's a downplayer. So he's reading these books, man, relishing them. See, if you have a smile on your face, that's exactly that the Lord is there, smiling through you, as you, in that sense. Okay? This is surrender, man. Great path. The next day, Advaita Acharya came to see Lord Gaura's lotus feet. The next day, Advaita Acharya came to see Lord Gaura's lotus feet. Sitting in the temple room at Srivasa's home, Lord Gaura gently smiled. The next day, Advaita came to see Lord Gaura's feet. Sitting in the temple room at Srivasa's home, Lord Gaura gently smiled. Then Lord Gaura joyfully sat on a deity throne. The effulgence of his body filled the room with light. His body was effulgent like molten gold, then filled with the passion of ecstatic spiritual love. It's passionate, ecstatic spiritual love, very passionate love. It's like, ooh. His body became reddish like the morning sun. His ornaments, garlands, and fragrant sandal all glistened. He was glorious like a full moon. Gadadhar and Narahari stood there. Raghunandan gazed at the graceful moon of Lord Chaitanya's face. The devotees surrounded Gaur on four sides, glorious like a moon surrounded by a host of stars. Lord Gaur, the king of Brahmins, smiled. You read a little bit here now. I want to see her smile. Down below somewhere.
Filled with the bliss of ecstatic love, Lord Nityananda sat down before Lord Gaura. Gazing at Lord Gaura's face, Lord Nityananda boisterously laughed and deeply wept. At that time,
see, that's the symptoms of this kind of devotion. See, deeply laughed, and what else? Deeply what?
Boisterously laughed and deeply wept.
Yeah, deeply wept and boisterously laughed. That's prema, right? On the body. You see, these symptoms are in our sangha. That means the Lord is in our sangha, Lord Gauranga. That mercy of Gauranga. And devotees are getting that quality passed on to them. That is the greatest happiness. But it's the greatest mystery. It's like, God, man, what the heck is that? Well, that's the greatest mystery. It's not surprising. So we're here to make this understood clearly, that this is where it's all leading, is to relish that kind of bliss and that kind of ecstatic joy and happiness. See, that's the supreme goal of life. See? So that's soul winning. You win people, induce them to taste this happiness, which can be done just by having faith in the preaching of authorized spiritual master who is in that mood and teaching it. Okay? Otherwise, without that kind of faith, then you're going to just take whatever is those qualities in a sangha of Vaishnavas where you don't see this. See? That's why, when Christina saw anyway, let's see, okay. She saw this level of devotion was deeper than just on the Vaidhi level. Went to the temple and saw it. That's good, but this is uncommon. This is what Lord Chaitanya came to bring, a deep, ecstatic worship. Greatest happiness.
At that time, Lord Adwaita also gazed at Lord Gora. Lord Adwaita Acharya, the moon of the Brahmanas, loudly roared like a lion. From head to foot, the hairs of Lord Adwaita's, his body stood erect. The whole world could not contain the bliss in his heart.
Yeah, you see, even when this is another part of its style, is this bliss is so intense you can't contain it. That's why devotees jump up and they ask, "Why is it so?" It's God, man. Can you imagine? God, the supreme personality, God is in your body. He has to tone it down because we can't experience the full brunt of his presence in these little frail forms. This is not surprising, but it's so wonderful, that bliss. It's so, has to be expressed, cannot be all held back. Yeah. And he wants to give this, give himself like this to people. Go ahead.
Lord Adwaita offered prayers and many gifts. He placed splendid new cloth before Lord Gora's lotus feet, offering Tulsi Manjaris. He worshipped Lord Gora. He offered fragrant sandal and a fragrant jasmine garland. Falling down like a stick, he offered respectful obeisances. Lord Gora picked him up and embraced him. Lord Gora accepted the offerings and then distributed the remnants of them to the devotees. The remnants and ornaments adorned his graceful body. Calling out, "Hari, Hari," he danced with the devotees. Lord Adwaita Acharya, Lord Nityananda Roy, Srivas Murari, and Mukunda sang Lord Gora's glories. All the Vaishnavas there were filled with bliss. Forgetting themselves, they tasted the nectar of rasa.
See, tasting the nectar of rasa. Can you imagine? See, that tasting that nectar of rasa is called prema bhakti. That's a path. See? That's what the Lord came here to awaken our spiritual senses so we could advance by tasting the nectar of ras. What is ras? It's transcendental taste for the transcendental form, pastimes, name, qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. See? That busts our bonds of Maya. That's the fast track. Otherwise, without tasting this rasa, to dissolve, super glue. This Maya is like super glue. Without tasting this ras, this glue stays. We're glued to this material world. See, these pastimes are like the glue. They have a super glue remover. It just naturally loosens our attraction and attachment to this world because of being counteracted by this ras taste. The Lord came here. He says, "For a long time I have not given devotional taste, the devotional mellows of Raj Bhakti to the world." Given, it's a gift. It's a gift. See? He gave that potency. So just by tasting and tasting, in other words, sadhu sangha, hearing the glorification of the Lord to the point where you want to even speak it and relish by your speaking it. Reading out loud or sharing also realizations, glorifying what is transcendental. This is what gets us free of this illusion. You become neutral to it. You see, it's just it's just oh yeah, like here we're in a mode of goodness area. Oh, it's nice. It's very beautiful. And then you're tasting Ras, and everything is interpenetrated with the Ras. God is, in it now. See? Or if you're, but without the Lord, it's just kind of it's just mode of goodness, mode of goodness. Doesn't really like even that doesn't like. A lot of people they come and they worship the nature because it's beautiful. Just like devotees, they worship the mode of goodness. They worship the rules and regulations and glorify that. Varnashram Dharma, rule regulative devotion, ceremony, seeing the deities of flat. See, they're worshiping that. Hey, there's life in that, But this, with the being born again, this is where you really enter the kingdom beyond the modes of nature, beyond even the mode of goodness, beyond even liberation. You don't have to stop there. Hey, right directly into the kingdom. This is the preaching of Jesus, man, or any liberated soul. His preaching is beautiful. I am the door, man. You come through this door. That door is the words that he spoke, the faith in the real devotee. Through that door, he's authorized, he's anointed by the Lord. That's the bona fide go. You go in that door, you go in, you don't, it's like you pass go on that Monopoly board. You just pass the go. You just go right into the kingdom and eat that transcendental grass and get transcendentally stoned. Well, that's the grace of God. It comes, when he comes here as a devotee and he starts the lines, and then you get this mercy, and then you pass it on to others if they will accept. Yeah, that's why it's like now is the time. The Lord is, the Lord knows the time for this. This is the time for this. Look at the world is breaking down. People had so much faith in the world before, right? They have faith in, I live in a nice, look at that. Everybody's living in a nice house and ranches, expensive, big. So I was looking at big houses, nice thing, going to the beach every day. Who cares about God, man, with his roller skating, nice weather and all that? Who cares about God now? It's all cracking up. Where are you going to go now? Okay? Where's your happiness now? Forced renunciation, lock down, stay in your house, stay distant from people. Where are you going to go now? If you have a relationship with the Lord, not a big deal. Yeah, I've always stayed distant from materialistic people. I don't want their close association. Nothing to me. And no, there's no distance for a devotee. There's no distance from a spiritual body, man. I just pick up a book and relish Ras of these scriptures, man, and I'm right there. We're tasting God, its association, and the intimacy of that. It's not a problem, but it's a big problem for people. People be jumping out of buildings right now. They already are. They're already committing suicides, these doctors, these frontline doctors. I get so many letters from people committing suicide, going crazy, going nuts, it's because they can't get their Ras of the world. They're being forced into, that's just this time. See? So this is where the preaching is good. Preaching means sharing. Hey man, you want an alternative? You want a way out? You want me to social distance? You think that's going to see, that's called torture. It's even said, those who know, this is a torture. Social distancing, masking, all that stuff. Staying home where you can't go out and eat in restaurants and all that noise and all that stuff. And you can't go to bars and all that stuff. That ain't no problem for me and any other devotee that's tasting transcendental Ras. Hey, it's not a problem here, but it's a problem, that it's a problem for people who haven't awakened their spiritual relationship with God.
You know, I listened today, I was telling her, to a guy who studies civilizations that break down and fall. And we're in that phase. And he showed all the civilizations only last average of 240 years. We're at 248. We're beyond the average. And he pointed out every civilizations that fell, all of them, Rome, everything, around the 240 mark. And they all go through different stages, and the end stage is this one that we're in. Isn't that uncanny? Okay? It's called the stage of decadence. And they all go there. We all know the Roman Empire went through a stage of decadence, and that's when it fell. See, you lose your roots. Here they're destroying. Now we're weakened. America's weakened. The Marxist communists are coming in. See, when a person's down, a strong person's down on the ground, the weak ones come and they kick them in the face. Isn't that true? Okay? So that's what's happening. Where are people going to go? See? They have to get into, he even said, you have to get back into your spiritual roots. That's the only hope. If you're a Christian, you got to really be spiritual with Christ and transcend. You know, otherwise you go nuts. You end up committing suicide. Many things like that. Okay? So this is an opportunity. Okay.
Praising each other, they said, "You are fortunate, fortunate." They thought the happiness of impersonal nirvana was very pathetic and unimportant. Filled with the bliss of spiritual love, they did not know if it was day or night.
Now, isn't this amazing? The Lord came here so he can give us an experience of something beyond nirvana, liberation. And like in Buddhism, they're all striving for nirvana. They think after 100 lifetimes, you can get this nirvana. Because it's very hard to get liberated. It takes a long time. And the Lord says, oh, I'm going to come here. I'm going to show the bliss beyond even nirvana. I'm going to demonstrate it. I'm going to teach about it. My devotees are going to teach about it. I'm going to empower them to uncover this. And just by their association, people don't have to even stop at this liberation thing and be stuck there for who knows how many long. It's not a lifetime thing because that's liberation. And nirvana, you may be there for, timeless almost. How are you going to get out? You have to meet a Vaishnava, otherwise you think that's it. You got to get a taste for something better. And that's what the Lord came to do here. Isn't that the secret here, even on our preaching? Those who come long enough, they get a taste of something better than the world or even Vaidhi Bhakti. Okay? That we got to advance by that taste. And that means association with somebody who is tasting something more than Vaidhi Bhakti or Varnashram Dharma or even liberation. Even more than Buddhism, more than even Christianity. Yeah, some people get a little bit trapped in that. They come here and then they end up getting that. But that's considered bad association. I already know. Compared to this, and you go back to that, that means you've fallen into a kind of an obstacle. I mean, it's in the book. Nectar Devotion talks about it. Becoming attracted to the salvation path. Wanting to the oneness with God. That's what it is, really. Salvation, liberation. Isn't that what they talk about, Christians? I mean, there's some love there, love of God. It's more than that. But still, it's mixed with a little other stuff. This is a deeper form. And I had to learn that personally. I spent many back and forths to distinguish that out. Okay.
Their hearts were overcome with bliss. At sunrise, their dancing began. One night came, they continued to dance. When the sun rose again, they were still dancing. overcome with bliss of spiritual love, they passed day and night in this way. Finally, Lord Gora commanded them to stop dancing. He said, return to your homes, bathe, and worship your deities. After you have taken your meals, return here.
So I think we'll stop there too, because it's already getting almost 7 o'clock.
Oh.
Probably eat something.
Wow.
Yeah. So we'll bathe, and we won't bathe, but we'll eat and do our prescribed duties, and come back and return for more talks and chanting and tasting the ice cream beyond ice cream here. Yeah, yeah. I already can't wait, man. I can't wait. Put those, rejuvenate the body and everything. The voice. Get it ready for another 4-hour morning program if it turns out that way. Your mic is feedbacking badly or something.
Oh.
I don't think it's... No. It's your mic. Can't be my mic. We don't have a mic. This is... So I don't know. If it just started anyway, must have just started because nobody was complaining. Oh, whistling noise. That's a fan. That was it. Okay. Hare Krishna, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Hare Krishna. Oh, there, the young lady. Let's see if she wants to say something. Hi there.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Danielle.
You're what?
I said my name is Danielle.
My name is
How are you
Danielle.
tonight?
Oh, Danielle. Oh, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, did you hear anything that we were doing
Where are
here?
you guys from?
Well, we're in a motorhome, and we're below Lake Tahoe. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, see the motorhome there?
Good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? I've never been inside one of those. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's really great. Yeah, we kind of live here. Yeah, got a kitchen,
Okay.
cooked some food, refrigerator,
Wow, that looks awesome.
nice bathroom, a bed back there. Yeah.
Mhm.
This is my friend Janaki.
Where are
Hello,
you?
how are you?
Where are you, Danielle?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Where are you? She went off.
Oh, she did? Oh. Oh, sorry there.
That's a little, almost a little boy with these big nose and thing, boy. That's what Elmo. What is Elmo, boy? What kind of animal is Elmo? What kind of morak and animal? That's a little Satan thing, boy. With the morak and this there, boy. With the plastic there, boy.
Oh, you're kind of interesting.
It's Elmo, boy. He's a little monster, boy. What is a little monster? With little
Are you a Rastafarian? Are you Rastafarian?
No, any morak contracting ferry and boys in Trinidad. I said Trinidad, boy. It's not Jamaican thing, boy. No Jamaican, no
Look at
party, boy. From you talking about dog, I said Trinidad, dog. I don't know anybody more can be
What language he's speaking?
Oh,